So I kind of had like two topics. One of them was, and like I couldn't really like kind of choose. So the first was going to be like a discussion about like armor, I guess mostly in video games. If we want to keep the theme, or we could just talk about side quests as well, just as a mechanic, I guess. And that could be for like other stuff, as like outside of video games. Like that could also be like role playing stuff as well. So, but we spent a lot of time talking about the video games. So
Yeah,
if you guys want to just keep going with that theme, I guess we could do
let's do
quest.
armor. That's
okay.
Side quest, I think is or is it, sorry, is that what you were saying?
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah, well, I think both sometimes they're both in the same thing. You know, you do the side quest for like the what comes to mind is like the armor of Romulus from Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
That's actually what I was like doing. That's what I got the inspiration from, was
that specific set.
Yeah, like
That's
no,
sick.
so because I got like the Assassin's Creed thing for my Switch a while ago, and like that was honestly like that's actually what the inspiration was, because I find that those games are so dated now that like doing that is just like crazy, like very, very infuriating. Like there were several times I wanted to like throw the controller like through the wall because like trying to figure out like the platform puzzles and stuff. So that's where I got the idea for the topics that I kind of came up with. So
yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, side quests for armor. Immediately something that comes to mind is like World of Warcraft, and that like you would grind and like keep doing the same dungeon to get this one fucking helmet. And it like doesn't match your fucking armor at all. You know, or like the whole time you're doing it, you're wearing a mismatching set because this is the one piece you're missing.
Yeah, that's like, yeah. No, I know what you mean. That's why I like in a lot of games, like the new Assassin's Creed games, you can like change the armor's appearance, like regardless of the ability. I forget what it's called. It's like transmogrify or something.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just, you could like, if you pick up like, let's say armor A, but it's like garbage, but you'll always like keep that what armor A looks like, as an option to choose later on. So like it might look cool, but the stats are just like trash.
Do you find that like, are you more focused on looking cool?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Always.
Yes. Always.
Always. Like, okay, so on my current playthrough of Skyrim, I enabled some cheats because again, like I'm a wizard, I'm like a sorceress, but I want to look cool. So I'm wearing the skull, and again, I'm an orc, a stronghold orc. So I'm wearing like the skull armor from Solstheim, like the big fur armor, and then I have like the nightingale wrist guards, and like I don't know, she just looks sick. It's like she's got like these like tight wrists with like this very loose fur armor, and so I modified all the stats. Like I put my crafting at like 100 and like used all these cheat codes to make this armor like super fucking deadly, because I just want her to look sick. I'm not really concerned about wearing the Arcana robes and like all that shit. But one of the first games that did what you're saying, Will, like where you can keep the armor style but be wearing something different, DC Universe Online, which to me is still one of like the very like when I think of like MMORPGs, that's the one I've probably spent the most time in, just because like you could literally play as any character because you're able to customize your character so much, and you can get an armor set at level 1 and wear that armor set to level 30 or whatever it goes to now, and you could be getting new armors all the time, but you keep your character looking as they looked when you first created them, or you're getting all these additional armors that the stats don't match what you want, but you can still keep that same chest plate or whatever the case is. It's one of the fucking coolest things. And you get to change the colors of all the armor too. So it's not just like the armor exists as it is. Like when you get it, it's fully customizable. And for me, that was like no other game at the time was offering that same experience. So it's like I could be Captain America in this DC game, or I could be Goku or Black Panther, whatever the case was. Like it was just really cool to be able to customize it that way. Yeah. What about you, Luca? What are your thoughts on customizable armors and stuff like that?
obviously I love it because I like to make my character look cool. When you said side quests for armor, like The Witcher is literally, there's like an entire section of
Oh yeah.
treasure side quests that are only for like Witcher gear from the different like Witcher schools. And if you play like the DLC, Hearts of Stone, you can, if you do the right quest line and make the right choices, you can get the full set of Viper School armor too, which is like the coolest armor in the game, in my opinion. It's like the full black set. I don't know, Will, you've probably played that.
Yeah, I got that set actually by accident. Like I didn't realize that there were like conditions that you could like fail and like
Yeah,
miss
so
out on.
like you can miss the sword. Like if you don't make specific choices, you won't be able to get the full set. And I don't know if you got the like in the DLC, you can also get the like round sunglasses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, like
Oh,
the
that's my favorite look.
like the
The round,
Morpheus goggles.
yeah, the Morpheus glasses with the Viper School set. Um, so yes, I always choose armor for looks rather than stats.
Yeah, so that was the other thing I was thinking of is like what are your thoughts? I guess I guess D&D does it as well, but like how like armor types affect how I guess your character plays out, like how
So
they
that's
move.
actually like those stats is something I've never looked at. Like I've never in Skyrim, I've never upgraded my like heavy and light armor. I did not care. I just put
Oh
on whatever
wow.
looked cool. Like
Okay.
This man just does not care about
if I just
stamina.
keep dying, I lower the difficulty rather than like train on my armor. Like
Who needs the sprint?
Straight up. Yeah, no, like I don't do heavy armor in Skyrim because I'm like I can't run and that pisses me off. So I always go light armor and try to upgrade it as much as possible. And I think like my D&D characters do the same thing. Where like I don't like D&D characters in heavy armor because you get disadvantage on stealth. I think there's some other things. Like I think your encumbrance is affected maybe. I can't remember, but I just I prefer to have the character that like has a single like breastplate or like maybe one arm is like a gauntlet type of deal with like a shoulder piece, but then everything else is sort of like light armor, leathers and hides and stuff like that. I just that's like the aesthetic I'm like drawn to. Because I like the fast fighter opposed to just like big guy with big sword type of thing.
Thick boy.
but have you ever
Like
been the big guy with the big sword? Just like you walk up full Daedric set and just like
yeah.
the first swing is the cutscene decapitation. Like,
Yes.
uh
Yeah, I've done that with like my first playthrough. I was like heavy armor, sword and shield. But like then playing different styles of the game, I'm like, man, I just like being able to sneak around and run. And I hate the fact that like I couldn't do that on my first playthrough. Like you
Yeah.
take 2 steps in Daedric armor, it's like, who's there? You're like, fuck. My sneak
True.
is 65. What the fuck?
Yeah,
True.
I remember like Oblivion was much more like it would punish you a lot harder with your I guess the consequences of your armor choices.
Mhm.
Because there was light, medium, and heavy instead of just light and heavy. But they had like for example, if you wore heavy armor, like you were basically like unkillable. But at the same time, like you couldn't really perform magic because it just affected the way that your magic worked. Like just like how much it would cost to use and stuff like that if you're using like heavy gauntlets or something.
Mhm.
But like I
Yeah, I
kind
think
of
Skyrim doesn't punish you at all, really. Like I've played Sneaky Archer in full Daedric set. Like
Oh
it's
man.
not, it's completely possible.
Oh, I just suck at Skyrim.
yeah, you just gotta like crouch in the middle of Whiterun and just leave your console or
Well,
Skyrim
and
game
that's
on
the thing too, right?
all
That
day long.
that breaks the immersion. Is if you could sneak in Daedric armor, like what the fuck is the
True.
who's there? It must be the wind. This giant fucking demon looking, just around the corner.
Yeah, and like see, like to me, like immersion is like kind of having that realistic stuff. Um, when I think of like armor in games, like especially multiplayer, would be like with like Rainbow Six, because it's all either light, medium, or heavy. But if you're heavy, you're like your character moves very, very slow because they have like the SWAT plates armor on and stuff. So then like the game like punishes you because you can take like an extra hit, but at the same time you're like incredibly slow, and it's almost like you're like a big walking target for other people. And like I think like For Honor did that as well, and like a few other games. Um, Kingdom Come Deliverance was a big one as well,
Mm.
which I got it on sale and it was like the worst thing ever because like it's just like peasant simulator.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you like grind like 10 hours and you still like get killed by like some guy hits you with a hammer or something. That's it. But like if you're like lucky enough to find armor, it's just like horrible because it's super heavy, but at the same time, like it gets like dirty and rusty and it just makes your character even worse. Man, fuck that game. I hate that game so much.
Do you guys have a favorite Skyrim set?
Yeah, the blades armor.
Oh, okay.
And if you add the katana mod, I love that combination, like a katana with the blade set, and the blade shield is my favorite shield in the game too.
Yeah.
I think I liked the wolf armor, and I also liked the archmage robes. The archmage robes.
Those are sick too. Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool.
Because like it's so
Sorry.
out of pocket compared to all the other mage robes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I love Dwarven Armor. Just because like it's so different from everything else. And obviously like gold and purple aesthetic is super dope. Obviously Daedric is cool. But I also love the Stalrim armor from the expansion.
The heavy
shiny,
or the light?
shiny boy.
The light. Yeah.
I like those that have like the light and heavy versions. I think it's only Stalrim and Dragon that has it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Ebony too, right? Or
Yeah,
Ebony.
I think I liked Ebony more than Daedric. But like I
Really?
think
Okay.
Daedric weapons looked better. In my opinion. Like the Daedric
Yeah.
sword is just like a big saw blade.
Yeah. The Daedric bow is my favorite bow though, like in the whole game.
Yes. Tough to beat. And the daggers too.
I like the dragon boat sword, even though not really armor, but I think it looked coolest. It's just like a dragon tooth, but yeah, I don't know. It was never a big Daedric guy.
Yeah. I think my aesthetic of like what I would want my character, because we've been talking about our personal characters in games a lot this episode. Like I'm very much like Link from The Legend of Zelda or like Cloud from Final Fantasy aesthetic. Like I don't mind a big sword, but you got to be wearing light clothing so you could have the maneuverability. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I feel like that's just my like I'm not like one of the Warcraft players with like the fucking giant, you know. I can't. That's not really me. But I don't know. Will, that's your aesthetic though, isn't it?
Sometimes, but like I absolute unit paladin mode. It's like just large armor where like your head is just like tiny.
Yeah.
Like Warhammer 40k kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, Space Marine.
Stormcast, turtle, fucking Space
It's just-
Marine looking ass.
Yeah, it's just like a thumb poking out of the top of the armor. I guess like for like a lot of I don't know. I think usually I do kind of tend to like balance it though. Like when I'm playing like Skyrim and stuff like that. Because like I usually don't wear the full armor sets.
Mhm.
So like I usually just do like heavy, like a chest piece. Like I love the steel armor. Like obviously the sleeveless one, of course. And then I add
Oh wait, you mean like the Iron Bandit armor?
no, the because steel has like this, and then it has like just like the chest thing and waist, but then there's also like another steel version where it covers like the shoulders.
Oh,
Like
the one
halfway
that
down
Lydia wears.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, always sleeveless, and then balance it. And then balance it with like light armor, so like fur.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's usually how I do it. Or just go no armor, no clothes.
One of the cool things about WoW was that you could toggle a setting where like you could be wearing a helmet, but it wouldn't show it. And I wish Skyrim had that, because I just don't wear a helmet because I want to see my character's face when I switch to 3D. And or not 3D, fucking third person. You know what I mean? And I hate wearing a helmet sometimes because it's like, why did I spend?
Yeah,
an
I would
hour?
never wear a helmet. The only headgear I'd wear is like the special, like the Daedric helmets. There was a
Mm.
couple that were kind of cool, and the Dragon Priest masks.
Oh yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, see, Assassin's Creed games, the new ones have that where you can, but it's not just helmets. You could do it with like anything as well. So you could like, because and like that's what I usually did was I always took the helmet off, um, just because like they added this mechanic where it's cool that they did it because like if you're wearing like a big helmet, like your voice will like echo when you talk. So like it's realistic, it looks cool, but it just looks stupid. Like some of the cutscenes, because like it's like or like your voice will be like muffled or something like that, and then it just it just looks really like awkward and strange. So I usually go helmetless as well.
Do you have an all-time favorite Assassin's Creed armor?
Uh, I would have to say probably the Altair armor from Assassin's Creed 2, like the one that you have to go on the quest for.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Super dated and just like mind-numbingly like infuriating, and like I've never raged as hard as I have like in a long time. When I
Yeah.
tried to like get like when I did like the first tomb, I was like, oh my god, this sucks. Because it's so dated. I'm like it was like groundbreaking, like revolutionary when it came out. Like I remember playing as a kid, and I was like, wow, this is insane. Now it's just like this sucks. Like
Yeah.
it just takes forever, but I think it looks the coolest and has like the Renaissance flair to it, which I always thought like that's what I always liked about the early Assassin's Creed games.
That game was the first game is tough. I don't know if they've remade that, but playing that
Oh,
like Assassin's Creed 2 was like such like a improvement on Assassin's Creed 1 where like unskippable cutscenes and fucking dudes talking. It's awful.
yeah, and it's like the camera placement. It wasn't even like really a cutscene. It was just like a shit camera placement. Like it would like drop down third person down low.
Yeah.
And then it just like yeah, it was never like actual.
You got to hear this voice actor going for the fucking the game award speech of the year.
And then if you die, you have to repeat it and like watch the entire cutscene
Oh
again.
my god, yeah. Fucking hell. And then you stab him, and then it goes into like the fucking Animus projection. Rest in peace, fucking, you know?
Yeah, but then there's always like characters around you, so you just get murked as soon as you come out of it.
Yeah.
Like because your character just is just like T-posing when it comes out of the like the RIP screen, and then you have to like restart it. Yeah, it came so far.
Okay, last question from me. If you could choose one armor set from any game to have in real life, which one would you choose? And you get all of its in-game functionalities.
It's probably the armor from Halo. It's got shield.
Just Master Chief's fucking armor.
Just hanging. But you get the shield with it, man. It increases your strength.
That's a very good point.
So you could just like you don't even need doors. You could just walk right through them. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody tries to throw a rock at you or something. You just bounces off the shield. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's probably it.
What about you, Luca?
I mean, when you said just any armor, I was like, yeah, the Viper set from The Witcher. But since you said with its abilities, I want something from Skyrim that's enchanted with something useful. I'd be like, I even want something that's like easy, like a super light armor that's like enchanted with, I don't know, for like a healing, a regain health enchantment,
like
or
generic
stamina, regenerate stamina.
Oh, that's
like when you enchant the ragged robes. This man's just like wearing pajamas.
Always wearing them like double enchant.
But yeah, that guy could run like for a long time, but he stinks.
Magic
Those are
armor is
fucking funky,
nigh
man.
impossible to penetrate. But
Yeah. If
it's
you
just like
wash this armor set, it loses the enchantment.
this guy's just running around wearing the muscle shirts, pretty much. And that's it.
But yo, you can't compete in the marathon in those clothes. I have to. You don't understand. I would probably choose some variation of the Zora armor from The Legend of Zelda so that I could breathe underwater. Well, no, wait, that's dumb. I could just wear a scuba suit. I said what I said. It's too late. Maybe if it was just like the blue tunic, because then that's pretty like easy to put on. But I was specifically thinking of like the Twilight Princess armor, which is like a full fucking armor set, and that's worse than a scuba suit. So I'm an idiot. Yeah.
Maybe a set of 40k armor. You could go
Yeah,
full-
so you could go to Comic-Con and take
just a
pictures.
thumb of just poking out.
Just a little tiny ass head. All right. Well, yeah, I think that'll do it for us here today. Will, we won't see you for a while or sporadically at least.
Yeah.
So if people are wondering where Will's at in the coming episode.